surrounding the portrayal of real people in television dramas has once again taken center stage after Daryl Hannah publicly criticized the hit series Love Story. The Hollywood actress recently broke her silence and delivered a powerful response to how her past relationship with John F. Kennedy Jr., often called JFK Jr., was depicted in the popular FX television series. According to Daryl Hannah, the show presents a version of events that she believes is far from the truth. Her remarks have sparked debate among fans, media critics, and viewers who have been closely following the drama. In a strongly worded essay published in the New York Times, Daryl Hannah expressed deep frustration with the way her character is portrayed in Love Story. She did not hold back in her criticism, calling the series not even remotely accurate and accusing the creators of fabricating details about her personality and behavior. The actress explained that she felt compelled to speak out because the portrayal had begun to shape public perception of her in ways she believes are unfair and misleading. For many viewers, Love Story is an engaging and dramatic retelling of the lives and relationships surrounding one of America's most famous families. However, Daryl Hannah insists that the show crosses the line between creative storytelling and outright distortion. She argued that the series exaggerates certain aspects of her life while inventing others entirely. In particular, she took issue with scenes that depict her as attention-seeking, emotionally unstable, and involved in behavior that she firmly denies. One of the most controversial elements of the series is the suggestion that Daryl Hannah used drugs during her relationship with John F. Kennedy Jr. In her essay, the actress strongly rejected this claim. She stated clearly that she has never used cocaine in her life and described the scene as deeply hurtful and entirely fictional. According to Daryl Hannah, the inclusion of such scenes is not only inaccurate, but also damaging to her reputation. The relationship between Daryl Hannah and John F. Kennedy Jr. was widely followed by the media during the early 1990s. The two were considered one of the most talked about couples of their time, and their romance lasted for several years. Although their relationship eventually ended, it remained a significant chapter in both of their lives. Daryl Hannah now says that the way Love Story portrays their romance misrepresents the emotional reality of that period. Another major criticism raised by Daryl Hannah concerns how the show depicts her personality. In Love Story, the character inspired by her is shown as irritating, self-absorbed, whiny, and socially inappropriate. The actress strongly rejects this characterization, arguing that it bears little resemblance to who she actually was during her relationship with JFK Jr. She believes the portrayal reduces a complex relationship to a series of exaggerated stereotypes designed for dramatic effect. The actress also revealed that the series has had real-world consequences for her. Since the premiere of Love Story, Daryl Hannah says she has received numerous hostile messages from viewers who believe the show's depiction reflects reality. Some messages have been harsh and even threatening, which she says has made the situation more serious than she initially expected. The actress explained that seeing strangers judge her based on fictionalized television scenes has been deeply upsetting. Support for Daryl Hannah has come from several people who knew JFK Jr. personally. One of them is RoseMarie Terenzio, who worked as JFK Jr.'s personal assistant and later wrote the book JFK Jr. An Intimate Oral Biography. In interviews discussing the controversy, RoseMarie Terenzio described Daryl Hannah in a much more positive light than the television series suggests. According to RoseMarie Terenzio, her personal experience with Daryl Hannah was overwhelmingly positive. She recalled the actress as polite, kind, and easy to be around. In her view, the negative portrayal in Love Story does not align with the person she knew. RoseMarie Terenzio emphasized that everyone has the right to defend themselves when they feel they have been misrepresented, and she expressed support for Daryl Hannah speaking out. Another issue raised by the series is the suggestion that the friends and family of John F. Kennedy Jr. did not approve of Daryl Hannah. In the show, several scenes imply that those close to JFK Jr. were unhappy with the relationship. However, RoseMarie Terenzio said she never heard such criticisms during the time she worked with him. She explained that relationships often end for personal reasons, but that does not mean the people involved were disliked or rejected by others. Despite the criticism, the creator of the series, Ryan Murphy, has made it clear that Love Story was never intended to be a documentary. Instead, he describes it as a dramatization inspired by real events. According to Ryan Murphy, the show blends factual history with fictional storytelling in order to create compelling television. This approach is common in historical dramas, but it often raises questions about where entertainment ends and historical accuracy begins. The debate surrounding Love Story has become even more intense because of the show's enormous popularity. The FX series has achieved remarkable viewership numbers since its release. Reports indicate that the first 5 episodes alone generated more than 1.5 billion minutes of viewing across platforms, including Hulu and Disney Plus. This success has made it one of the most widely watched series in the history of those streaming services. Because of this massive audience, the way the show portrays real people carries significant influence. For viewers who are unfamiliar with the true history of Daryl Hannah and John F. Kennedy Jr., the fictionalized version presented in Love Story may become the version they believe. This is one of the main reasons Daryl Hannah says she felt it was necessary to publicly challenge the narrative. Casting decisions have also been a topic of discussion among fans. Actor Paul Kelly was chosen to portray John F. Kennedy Jr. in the series, and many viewers were curious about how the actor would handle such a well-known historical figure. When asked about the casting, RoseMarie Terenzio acknowledged that portraying JFK Jr. would always be challenging because he was such a recognizable public figure. According to RoseMarie Terenzio, Paul Kelly approached the role with seriousness and dedication. She noted that stepping into the shoes of John F. Kennedy Jr. was no small task, given the cultural impact and public admiration associated with the Kennedy family name. While opinions about the show itself remain divided, she believes the actor made a sincere effort to honor the character he was portraying. Criticism of Love Story has not been limited to Daryl Hannah alone. Another voice joining the conversation is Jack Schlossberg, the nephew of John F. Kennedy Jr. and a member of the famous Kennedy family. Jack Schlossberg has publicly questioned the accuracy of the series and suggested that viewers should approach it with skepticism. In his comments, Schlossberg argued that many of the people involved in the production had never met members of the Kennedy family and therefore lacked first-hand knowledge of the events they were dramatizing. He suggested audiences keep one important idea in mind when watching Love Story: the letter F, standing for fiction. His statement reinforced the idea that the show should not be treated as a reliable historical account. The controversy highlights a larger issue that often arises when real lives become the subject of television drama. Creators want to tell engaging stories that capture audiences, but the people being portrayed may feel their identities and experiences are being reshaped for entertainment. This tension can lead to conflicts like the one now unfolding between Daryl Hannah and the creators of Love Story. For Daryl Hannah, speaking out was not simply about correcting a few details. She described it as an effort to reclaim her own narrative and protect her reputation. The actress explained that when millions of viewers watch a dramatized version of your life, the line between fiction and reality can quickly blur in the public's mind. At the same time, supporters of Love Story argue that dramatization is an accepted part of storytelling. Television writers often compress timelines, create composite characters, and invent dialogue to make complex historical events easier to follow. From this perspective, the series is simply using artistic freedom to explore themes of fame, relationships, and tragedy within one of America's most famous families. Whether viewers agree with Daryl Hannah or with the creators of Love Story, the controversy has certainly increased interest in the show. Discussions about historical accuracy, media responsibility, and personal reputation continue to spread across social media and entertainment outlets. What remains clear is that the legacy of John F. Kennedy Jr. and the people who were part of his life continues to fascinate the public decades later. His story, as well as the stories of those close to him, still hold a powerful place in American cultural memory. As the debate continues, Daryl Hannah's decision to speak out has ensured that her voice is now part of the conversation. Whether audiences ultimately see Love Story as entertainment, history, or a mixture of both, her response serves as a reminder that behind every dramatized character is a real person whose life may be far more complex than any television script can capture.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.